of you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed in attaining all in that which is your need? To be heard by the real answerer of all deeds, the true hero of all whom pleads. Who of you really want to bow down to the true King of Kings commanding the crown? To worship the one that ever rules alone, commanding everything of creation from the seat of its throne.
It's a pleasure to have Lord Holy Apostle Dean Salim, Holy Queen Mother Rabbi Salim, and we're missing our partner and co-host, Brother Fakir Abdul-Aziz. And we have an audience here today. May Ahezaah's peace and other blessings be about everybody's presence. Those watching this program, may Ahezaah's peace and other blessings about your presence as well. It's always beautiful to sit here with the messenger, Holy Queen, and discuss so many different things. I met a brother recently who would tell me one of the things he enjoyed about our show is the information that we present on here. You know, things that we could always think about that you may not think about in your daily life. One of the things we're going to discuss this evening is about the Lord Most High, Ahezaah, and how people don't uphold or honor and take His laws and orders as a trifling thing and try to hold them in low estimation or even not even recognize the weightiness of reality that it has sent down from itself to the world and make out of a mercy. You know, I know I have people many times, you know, have a discussion. I had a brother just recently discuss with me. He was trying to prove how Christianity is the right religion. He was talking about they have a name for this membrane that covers all the cells that basically holds you together. And I'm thinking, oh, Ahezaah is the that holds you together. But in the picture that he showed me on his phone, it's like a cross. I said, look like a cross. He was like, see how Jesus is the. I said, I know it. But instead of coming with this, you know, and I just laughed. I said, you know, but the reality that the Lord is the reality that hold. If it wasn't for the Lord holding together, then everything would disperse, would not be held together. But He made it seem as though as Jesus being the Word, and the reality of is what's holding this thing. I was like, wow. But it's people out there that have take these type of concepts or these ideas, and then don't relate it back to the words of Ahezaah, and not to the words of men or the mistranslations of men. But don't go back to pray to the Lord and ask the Lord to guide them for its understanding so they can really relate to it and not take what it said before His words being trifling or holding Him in a low estimation or even holding the Lord itself in low estimation in reality.
A couple of things. One of the things is, it's funny that we're on this topic. Not funny. Ironic. But because I was thinking about something that Lord Holy Apostle had said to me a long time ago, and for some odd reason it came back to my mind, and I guess I was just observing how if anything is outside of Ahezaah, it don't exist.
Right.
You know, and I know that we don't look at ourselves as inside of anything. You know what I'm saying? But if you start, you know, really like just observing how the world, how so many things is going on at so many different things is going on at one time.
Right.
You know, and you think about how people try to put a cap on Ahezaah in regards to what I mean. Cap means limitation on Ahezaah.
Right.
And if you just go out of a door and you just look at everything that's going on, you'd be saying, "Wow, Ahezaah has to be so limitless in order for this to be taking place in the way that it's taking place." You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's that we don't sometimes go outside of ourselves and try to look at a big picture. We try to look at things the way it's presented to us and let that be it. You understand? But if you just take that just that moment and try to look, just when you go out the door and just look at people and the movements and the different activities that's going on in life, you know that there's no set it involved. You know, no set thing involved. You know that whatever is involved is evolves, and everything it takes place within Ahezaah. It's hard for me to explain it, but if you go outside and just look at the world and the activities go on, you know that no way Jesus could maintained.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Boy, she went around the bush, boy. You get
But
back to that one.
you just know that it's so far beyond you. It becomes so far beyond your own mind. And the other thing was, African American people, we have a tendency to use words inappropriately. And so you use the word trifling. Correct?
Yeah.
Can you explain what that word means? Because I know I call my kids trifling. And I don't be meaning it, I don't think in the way that word may be identified in the dictionary.
Well, I know for trifling, I've heard people use trifling like people, holding things like low estimation, not honoring something, like you said, people say their kids are trifling.
It's like unimportant. They hold things as a small thing,
right?
And something that's not worthy of your attention or true concerns and things of that nature. That's what's trifling. Like a little thing, holding like a little thing.
But I ain't gonna speak for the whole of African American people. When I took all my kids trifling, I be thinking about lazy.
I know what you were saying.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But back to what Idris is saying, and Idris, he threw me off because when he said it, he used it in the wrong context.
Oh, okay.
You inverted it. I know what you was trying to say, but you inverted what you were saying.
Okay.
And people in the audience or out there in the world might have caught that too. But this right. I know what you were saying. I think they got the gist of what you were saying as well. But so many people have found ways to eliminate Ahezaah a lot, and one of the ways they've eliminated it is by creating or devising or imagining all these different gods.
Yeah.
And so through the history of man, they've had this fault. And when Prophet Muhammad came, Allah gave him a book, the Holy Quran, which explained the unification of these so-called gods, these powers, which were its attributes that people gave names for and put faces to them and bodies to them.
Right.
And said, this is the God of thunder, the God of water, the God of earth, the God of the universe, the God of the stars, the God of women, the God of love, the goddess of love, and not understanding that this unfathomable, this unknowable, this awesome thing that we could never really fully know is doing all these things that's impossible. But it's doing it. It's impossible for every other thing to do it. Therefore, we call it, those of us who know, call El the impossible. The impossible one. Because for every other thing created, what it does is impossible for us to do.
Yeah.
It gives us life. We can't give nothing life. Men run around here telling like they tell their sons, I gave you life, I brought you to this world, you ain't did nothing.
Yeah.
All you've done was be a vessel that Allah used, a servant, a thing, a tool, a utility.
Right.
In flesh. And Allah then brought this through you and you think you doing it. It's the same thing with it manifesting your thoughts. It's creating and manifesting, bringing forth thoughts and images, into the world. Images from its being, its mind, its infinite mind. And we live in those images, and to us, we are real.
Right.
Every image believes in itself.
Yeah.
We're real, Yes,
sir.
And each life-breathing, thinking thing believes it is the most important. If you could talk to an alligator tell you, I'm more important than you. Man said, I'm the cream of creation. But go step in that water and see that alligator try to eat you. Because it believes that it's the cream of creation. It's most important. And it needs to be fed. It needs to be preserved. You're nothing to it but a meal.
Right.
You know, and we do the same thing when we slaughter animals and raise plants and all kinds of vegetation to eat. We do the same thing the alligators do.
Right.
So everything being equally created, equally in need of the Lord Most High, can't fathom what it is that it does in all its attributes, in all its powers. So it gave us information. And it said to Muhammad, tell them that myself, Allah, is the same as Huvah or Jehovah or Yahoo or Jah or Huvah, whatever they want to call it.
Right.
Tell the Jews, tell the Hebrews that Allah and Hu is one and the same, the eternal.
Right.
Huh? Yeah, the independent is all the same. Tell them that, and tell them that the unification, all the attributes that's manifest that people call gods, that's me. I am that doer.
Right.
And it is the most important thing. But check this out. Think about a person who would come to you and say, listen, I'm looking for a man. I want to get married. If you take me, if you marry me, I'll put on a headpiece and I'll be a Muslim. Now, how trifling is that?
It's very trifling. Because their goal is not to surrender to the Lord El, is to get to you. You become almost like a god to them. I want you.
They're holding Ahezaah in low estimation,
right,
as though it is unimportant, it don't really exist,
right,
in that they're going to appease you to get what they want, despite you telling them it is all-knowing, all-seeing, ever-present, and it's all-powerful and is here now.
Yeah. And it's funny that you mentioned that, because I know when people discuss, or they all say they believe in the Lord Most High.
Right.
But at the same time, because the Lord Most High don't give them what they want or what they think they need, and they're not patient or steadfast enough, because we talk about time, how we want things in our now, in immediacy, in the moment.
Yeah.
But if the Lord don't grant me what I want or give me what I want, then I can't hold faith in it or believe in it, because it didn't answer me. A brother told me, just recently, he would say, that upon meeting you, and he had prayed to the Lord, and the phone call came, and from his prayer, and I said, what time was who? But is man always that stage to say, okay, he didn't ask for anything but knowing you or getting to meet. So I either gave him an answer. Now, how many people, when they go to the Lord, aren't asking for it? They're asking for the things of it, and then they don't get what they want. Then now the Lord is not. He didn't give me what I want, so now I don't believe in him. Or now, but other things have been given to me, and I'll put that as more important than the Lord El itself. Now, those material things. See, that's what my money got me where I am now. So
yeah, well, I chalk that up to two things. One being fickle,
okay,
and two being judgmental.
Oh yeah.
Now, fickle, that's a mental problem, of course.
Okay. Right.
And being judgmental, that's a disobedience problem. Because the Lord El tells us that it is the judge.
Right.
It is the only judge, the only true judge, the truest judge, the right judge, the righteous judge. And that we should not judge ourselves or others.
Right.
Now, it appoint men to be a sign of judgment, of its judgment. And you have men in the world who imitate it. You got the local authorities and politics and law enforcement that imitates the judge, the Lord Most High. And you got men in the clergy of all religions that imitate the Lord's messengers. You see? and their imitation, because they're not truly connected with the Lord in awareness,
Right.
having a universal enlightening relationship,
Right.
they falter and they can't completely do right. Or they might have good intentions,
Right.
but they always falter because they're not connected up with the all-wise, all-powerful one that guides the right.
Right.
The Lord always guides the right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when it created its image, manifested it on the throne as the Lord,
Right.
and made itself the thing, the center
Right.
for humanity to come to reach out to. That's the most important place for us, for our minds to go, for our minds to be, for us to be led to, for leadership.
Right.
And how many people in the world do that on a consistent basis? How many people make their religion their life and understanding that religion is their life? Not just going to worship services at appointed times and what have you, but I'm talking about consistently, continuously every day. You know, how many people make that their life?
You know, one of the things, I was talking with one of my children this week, and she was in a funk because she was in a situation where she needed something and that need wasn't being fulfilled. It wasn't, and she went through so many changes in regards to it. And I was saying, you know, and I was trying to encourage her, you know, be patient, you know, have faith and things of that nature. And I know those words are so easy to say. You know what I'm saying? They just flow. And I when I finished talking to her, I thought about just people, and I thought about myself, how Ahezaah give us language, and we use it, you know, but sometimes we don't have no substance in those things. And I know that people that struggle on this path sometimes probably get lost from the way because they look at other people and they really think that what they're looking at is peace. You know, but Ahezaah has shown me so clearly that they only have things for a little while.
Yeah.
You know, and the words that they use, that they don't have no substance in it, that's going to come back and bite them. Whether we see it or not, that's going to come back and bite them. It's best that when you say a thing, is try to attach yourself to what you're saying. When I say attach yourself, seek, beg, plead with the Lord to be sincere in those things and ask it to give you those things. You know, truly give you patience, truly give you trust, you know, truly give you faith, because you need it.
Oh, yeah.
You need it to keep from going astray or tapping your brain and losing your mind. Those are the things you really need. And seeing if you sincerely attach yourself to it now, it won't come back and bite you later. You know, so what happened was, what she was hoping that came about. And she called me and she was all cheery and everything. And I said, I'm disappointed. And she said, why? I said, because you never once took what I said and attach yourself to it.
Right.
I said, see, if you would take what was going on with you before and what was going on with you now, your spirit would still be the same. I said, we're not in control of things, but Ahezaah gives us a will, and I'm kind of understanding that will. You understand? If you don't try to maintain the balance, you fall. You fall all the time. You can't be happy with what you think is good and disappointed to the extremist of what you think is bad. You got to look at them both and weigh. And know that they both come from Ahezaah, and you have to be patient and put yourself in Ahezaah's hand and let Ahezaah do that for you. And because if that's the case, everything's gonna work out right no matter which way it goes. But if you don't do that, then you're all mentally messed up. You are mentally disturbed other people, and then you want to enjoy upon what you think is good and bring about good to other people, but that's not what it is, because Ahezaah is truly all good.
Well, you know, one of the greatest problems that man has is that they're judgmental.
Yeah.
You know, Allah instructs us to not be judgmental, but you know, Ahezaah showed me something when it first gave me enlightenment. When it first came down and raised me up into the circle with it, it showed me how fast we make judgments.
Yeah.
As it was speaking to me, I was making judgment after judgment after judgment after judgment. When it told me to not judge, I looked and said to myself, I'm not judging. And I was judging. Start judging
Right.
me not judging, or me judging, me believing that I wasn't judging.
Wow.
You know, and it's a hard thing, but it's something worth begging for.
Okay.
See, that's why the mystics, the saints, the Sufis, the true mystics, the true saints and Sufis, the enlightened ones, you know, the messengers have been instructed to tell the people to beg for Allah's attributes of good.
Right.
To beg for its guidance, to beg to be surrendered unto it in a righteous and peaceful manner, for it to have mercy on them and cause them to have that stick to itness with it, you know, to persevere and to tolerate what it puts down on, because it says, don't think you will not be tried just because you say you believe. You have to expect that the devil gonna come first. You got to expect that the nearer you get, closer you get to the Lord, to the center of being, to the light of truth, that the devil is going to be working harder to keep you away. You got to believe that the devil exists. You got to believe that it's a part of your being, just as the Lord is a part of your being.
Right.
You know, and you have to have the patience and understanding to know that if you fall out of line from the commandments of the Lord, then you are wrong.
Right.
And you're going to have some results of being wrong. But if you don't trust the messengers, if you don't trust the words of wisdom that came before your time, and that which Allah may send down today, then you know, like, how you going to get the guidance?
Yeah.
Because see, people have a tendency to believe more in what they can see, feel, and touch.
Yeah.
Look how people will listen to the scientists, the physicists, who keep saying, well, the earth has been here for 6,000 years. Oops, it's been here for a million years. Oops, it's been here for 2 million years. Oops, it's been here for a million years. And every, 5 million years. Every time they find more evidence that the earth has been here longer than what they previously said, they act as though earth has been here that particular length of time, and they know the truth.
Yeah.
When they are paid liars.
Yeah.
You see, they keep on, they make judgments.
Oh yeah.
And then they are of the devil, where they, even though they are high in the power of the jinn on earth, and Allah tried them with guidance of the common folks,
right,
they falsify their judgments. They hold Allah in a trifling manner, because to them it's like, well, it don't even exist. If I can't touch it, if I can't feel it, if I can't bring it to light with understanding and have an answer for you for it, don't exist. Says who?
Yeah.
You know?
I know people, like Holy Queen saying, and touch upon you something possible. When Allah says in the holy books, and as I either start opening up the book now, many of the things that you thought you understood, that it says, is that you haven't got the slightest clue or idea, really. When Allah said, a thing you think is bad for you is good for you.
Yeah.
And a thing you think is good for you is bad, but you don't know.
Yeah.
Because, like she was saying, her daughter thought she recognized it was a good thing, and she said, I was disappointed
She
because
was misjudging.
she was misjudging.
She's misjudging.
It's many times Allah now, out of His mercy now, is the things that when Allah says before ease come hardship.
Right.
Who wants to tolerate or abide in the hardship? Because it is through the hardship that you know that Ahezaah show you that it is the reality. It is the doer. It is the cause and the effect. It is the give the pleasure and the pain, or what you think is comfort as well as miscomfort. But people don't look at that because they only want the ease.
Yeah.
But in the thing you think is bad, like Allah said, is that you may lose on this path of Allah's way now, that you may lose to truly win.
Mm-hmm.
But in the world, if you lose, then you are of the losers. But no, I didn't really take a loss because it may have shifted something that I don't need or have to have in order to replace something with something better. But who can sit back and say, well, I needed that? Whether it be a chastisement, which is all Allah said is a mercy. But how many people look at it like that?
Well, what you're talking about is look at how many people judge the book before its conclusion.
See, right.
You know, but you know, one of the things that I've been pondering on just this week is that how people make all these false judgments, you know, on a consistent basis, man, and that they can't see the fact of life, the unseen being of Ahezaah in everything. You know, we say it's the unseen, but we also say it's the seen. Those of us who know it's the seen.
Right.
You see? But for most people, they don't see it. And while they're looking right at it.
Yeah.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
So we make it palatable.
Okay.
We make it edible.
Mm-hmm.
We break it down and say, well, you could see it in its actions upon things.
Right.
Letting you know that, yeah, well, it's still greater than everything you see.
Right.
And it's still hidden, but you see it in its actions. You see it moving things, doing things. That's it doing it.
Right.
And then people look out from themselves and say, okay, I see a lot of thunder and lightning and awesome things.
Right.
But don't see it in the minute things, the small
things.
Don't see it in themselves. You know? Because we have to, as practitioners of the path of the way, it's our duty to remind people that Allah, the Lord El, who created Allah,
right?
And when I say created Allah, I know a lot of people might say, you know how you gonna say Allah created? Allah is the Lord of the throne.
Right.
El is everything. El created man in the image that it formed of Allah.
Right.
Huh? So we created in the image of the Lord of the throne.
Right.
But El is more than the Lord of the throne. You understand? El is the doer of everything. It is the real of everything. You know? So we have to realize that Allah creates our thoughts on a consistent basis. The Lord of the throne creates our thoughts on a consistent basis and creates words that it speaks through our mouths and give us life from itself, which we call, it gives us to call our own.
Right, okay.
Huh? And that thing about free will, it's the free. And the will belongs to it. Everything of will, everything of power belongs to it. And it's a matter of understanding. But I know we got a minute.
We want to thank our New York audience for tuning in to this program. Continue to watch the second part of this. We hope you've enjoyed what you heard. All you Ahezaahs out there in the New York City area,
want to
the
do
Lord bless you.
things right, to keep up with keeping your lives tight as in being right with the truth of true insight.